Today, we start with commentary editor for the Washington Times, Kelly Sadler. USA contributor Erin Elmore is back with us, and best-selling author and political analyst Mark Halperin is here. Panel, good morning. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky forced to walk back those inaccurate claims made by Justice Sotomayor on Friday. She said that there were just over 100,000 kids currently being treated in the hospital with COVID-19. The real number, we've learned from Rochelle Walensky, is around 3,000. Mark, to you first. How big a problem is it that someone with so much power and sway over our nation's laws speaks with that little precision and accuracy this far into this pandemic?
There's a credibility problem in Washington over COVID. It's now extended to the Supreme Court.
I agree. Erin, where are you on this? To me, it just goes back to those buzzwords: misinformation, disinformation. Here you've got a Supreme Court justice, one of 9, who is that poorly informed when it comes to the biggest issue in the country right now.
It's certainly concerning. When you listen to Rochelle Walensky try to walk this back, she doesn't do so at all. And that shows us that a credibility problem only occurs if you're on the right. Misinformation only occurs from people on the right. People on the left can say and do whatever they want. And back to Rochelle Walensky, what she was saying was, it doesn't really matter what the numbers are. Just get vaccinated. Your kid should be vaccinated. She was peddling in fear, and she was trying to scare the American people. And instead of addressing the numbers and the facts and the data and what's really plaguing children, she just pushed and pushed and pushed vaccinations. And I remember, I'm not old enough to forget, let's say, that a few years back, you could trust the FDA and the CDC.
Right. And
right now, it just seems like they're a different part of Pfizer or Moderna or Big Pharma.
Yeah, it seems like it's become really political, hasn't it, Kelly? And this morning, again, the CEO of Moderna coming out and saying that a 4th booster shot might be needed come fall.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Erin is 100% right. This administration's only tactic or only strategy is to push vaccinations.
Counted them and did it, but there are a million ways around that. You just got to email them a negative test. So that gets them back to school today. Lori Lightfoot we were talking about this Friday, Erin, is stuck between a rock and a hard place in Chicago right now, but I think there is an out for her. Let's take a listen to what the mayor of Chicago said yesterday about what she's calling an illegal walkout for thousands of Chicago teachers.
Are kids going to be in school this week in Chicago?
Well, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that happens. And to be clear, what the Chicago Teachers Union did was an illegal walkout.
4th straight day. They want to be locked out until next Tuesday, so January the 18th. That's according to the Teachers Union. Why not just stop paying them? Why not stop paying them immediately?
Because liberal politicians are beholden to the teachers' unions and all unions. We need to go to right-to-work states. 27 states of right-to-work mean that they don't have to be in a union, and they're mostly all red states. And by the way, there's not one child out of school in a red state. I live in a red state. Our kids went back to school on time. We're not having to go through testing. This is a political disease. This is a political virus. And the teachers' unions are grasping for power at every angle. And people will push you as far as you let them. Back in the early stages of the pandemic, when they pushed and pushed, they got everything they want. They said, let's push a little further. And it's working. And Lori Lightfoot is in a very difficult position because she is beholden to these teachers' unions. And I think she realizes the parents are turning on these liberal politicians. So she's getting it from every angle, but I hate to say she kind of deserves it.
Kelly, just 5 seconds. Should Barack Obama weigh in on this issue at this point, 22 months into a pandemic? We haven't heard from him. Chicago's his town. He hasn't weighed in.
Absolutely. So should the President Joe Biden. He should.
5,000 schools are closed on this Monday morning. A lot of those kids are learning remotely, but 5,000 schools do not have kids in class, in the classroom, as you wake up on this Monday morning. Panel, great start to the day and the week. We'll pick this back up top of the hour. Alex Kramer is with us right now. She's looking at headlines. Dads are taking pictures of because that's 2020. The spring, it was toilet paper. That's what tests have become. And I always feel like saying my kid's school provided us. I had to go to the school and pick up, and they gave us the rapid tests. And everyone's like, oh, big thanks to the schools. And I feel like saying, I don't comment on this, but I'll do it here. That's what they were supposed to be using, what you're looking at right there, those at-home tests. That $2 trillion COVID relief package, this is exactly what that money was supposed to be for. So they're not doing you any favors. They're doing what they were supposed to do with all that money that the federal government was supposed to dole out to the thousands of public and private schools around the country.
And it quite simply just never happened, now did it? I also think this is a bit of a double-edged sword because, yes, the White House promised this and they obviously did not deliver. But why are we testing so many people and forcing people to take tests that are completely asymptomatic? It's creating a bigger problem because sometimes people have a virus, they're not symptomatic, go on with your life. I truly think that it's creating more fear and it's giving the pharmaceutical companies more power. And it's really just, we need to create an environment where COVID is like the flu or a cold.
Exactly.
If we keep perpetuating this myth that you get COVID and everyone is going to drop dead, this is going to go on into perpetuity.
Yeah, good
right
point.
now, we just have to shift the narrative because there is so much unnecessary fear. There is so much unnecessary masking and testing and mandating that we are becoming a culture and a society that lives because of COVID and not with COVID.
Yeah,
it has to
asymptomatic
change.
people.
It has to stop. We need to go back to business as normal. This is a cold. This is a flu. If you're compromised, stay home, of course.
Well, I'm with you, and there are outliers, but if you're asymptomatic, I don't know if you should be standing in line. All right, quickly, Erin,
1
5
second.
seconds. Yep.
Wait, you really still think that Ted Cruz is a contender after
I know,
how
I
he
said that
totally
too.
sold out the Republicans on January 6th and then got eviscerated by Tucker Carlson and then I had to backpedal? Ted Cruz is gone. History will judge him harshly. His political career is over. He should just go back to Mexico.
He wanted to be a Supreme Court justice as well. On that same
You mean
note,
go back to Canada or go back to Mexico?
Remember
I
he
mean-
went on vacation in Mexico and got eviscerated during the snowstorm?
yes, of course, we had that. We reported on that. Panel, we'll
There's-
pick this back up. A lot more to get to. Enjoyed that, Mark. Enjoyed those predictions. We've got some time, but we'll hold you to them there until we get to 2024. Panel, thank you very much. We'll then Rick, same question to you after Erin responds. I'm curious what your take is, both of you, what your take is on this. Does the Biden administration need to forcefully come out and end this sort of limbo, this ambiguity that we've had when it comes to the U.S. backing up Ukraine if Russia does move on Ukraine militarily?
I think that's absolutely necessary. And the same thing goes for China and Taiwan. But at what point does the United States become irrelevant? Because I hate to say we are on a hegemonic decline and close. China has stolen natural resources from all over the world. Russia has their own natural resources. We are giving them pipelines and giving them their leeway to do whatever they want. All the while, we are destroying our United States military by vaccine mandates and a woke agenda. When are we going to become irrelevant? I say if we don't have actions that change our country from the inside out soon, China and Russia simply won't care what we say or what we do.
That's a good point. Erin, Rick, do you agree with Erin? Or is it that dire?
I do, absolutely. And look, Ukraine it's a massive buffer between the rest of Western Europe and Russia. And it's always been, kind of viewed as this bridge between the two. But
Inconsequential to happen, you go yourself. You don't leave it to our Deputy Secretary of State, Wendy Sherman, whose name I had to look up before the show. Trump would have gone himself. That's how things actually get accomplished. You don't send your assistant's assistant, you go yourself. And this is pretty consequential, I think, to use that word again. Kelly, we've got about a minute left. I wanted to get to this morning. This came out over the weekend.
Nashville would be the safest choice to make long-term planning in the fact that it's open and that there is very few restrictions, so there could be a large gathering.
Rob,
68.
I grew up in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
So Pittsburgh, although it's, Pennsylvania is really important, Pittsburgh does not have a lot of resources in terms of hotels and infrastructure and transportation. I don't know that Pittsburgh would be able to handle the magnitude of the convention.
Yeah, and this will be the welcome back, as Kelly said, post-COVID convention. So they're not going to do it remotely again. Boy, that was weird too. Remember those remote conventions?
Yeah.
Terrible. All right, panel, really enjoyed the conversation this morning. Kelly Sadler, Erin Elmore, Rick Gates, good to see you. Thank you so much.